informed Kalino of having brought a Yowl to justice. Which, by the way, I find it kind of silly. At this point, it almost seems like it's intentional that Paizo often uses German words in their NPC names that are somewhat fitting. So, for example,
Uh-huh.
this guy that you just arrested, his first name is Jaul, which is German for howling, which
I,
makes
I,
sense.
I was going to say it sounded like, like a onomatopoeia for howl.
Yep, yep, and it's exactly the German word, spelling and everything. So. And that happens quite a lot. I think that can't be coincidence. There must be some German speaker that is hiding these things in plain sight at Paizo. Okay, so yeah, you informed him. I believe he had. Did he already give you a reward for that?
The captain did,
The captain did.
and
Um,
we left Kalino since he seemed a bit overwhelmed with the news. We left him to himself.
yes, and I didn't take a note of where exactly we left off. Did we leave the game at that, or was there anything that
Uh,
came up?
We left off, I believe, in Lucca when we sampled our expensive wine while we were
Right,
telling his mirror about our day.
right. Okay.
yeah.
All right. So I guess we can uh, skip ahead a little bit. I guess that one question remains, which is that so Augrael left the vaults with you and is finding himself in Otari for the first time in an above ground settlement for the first time even. So where would Augrael spend the night, or would he wander the town? Maybe even does he? Because he technically probably doesn't really need a place to spend the night. What do you think is going to happen, Matt? You muted. Now you. What? I can't hear you.
Yeah, you're not coming through.
Hmm.
Okay, is it working?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, I think Augrael is like completely overwhelmed, uh, like a kid at Disneyland for the first time, like probably just wandering, like wide-eyed, looking at everything. Like he's read about a lot of stuff, I'm sure, and knows like how cities and towns work to some extent, but seeing it all is probably completely overwhelmed him. And I imagine he's wandering like the whole time. Um, Wanting to stay close to these guys in case something happens, but uh, too tempted by his curiosity, probably straying a bit.
All right. Yeah, I mean, Otaro is a peaceful enough town that you can safely do that. It's not like the streets turn dangerous at night or anything like that. The opposite may be true, that maybe people will sort of cross the street when a dark figure walks down the alleyway that they can't immediately recognize. Um, but yeah, it's definitely not not a dangerous thing to do. So you can safely do that. Just trying to figure out still about the reward for having Yowl arrested. I'm sorry, that's gonna take a second. There you go. Okay. All right. So the group is spending the night usually in different places, Matt. So Lucca still has a little hut outside of town where he runs his business of charcoaling. Is that how you would call that? Charcoal making?
Just, classic charcoal burning. Burning charcoal.
Yep. Um, Soma usually spends the night at the Crook's Nook, is that right? Yep. And is kind of like a fixture there. Sometimes entertains the guests at night, sometimes the other way around. Ottardo has a little office in town, since, I mean, you have his card, you know that he's attorney at law as well as adventurer extraordinaire. And so yeah, so everyone kind of disperses usually for the night and then meets up again the next morning. I think we mostly meet up at the Crook's Nook, right? Because that's kind of like a public space. Is that right? Oh,
But Yinismir is now friendly.
yeah,
She wouldn't mind.
right. And Yunius Mera is also someone who knows better than to immediately like ask questions. So if Augrael shows up the next morning, still hood drawn low, um, she's not one to pry. She'll definitely notice, and Soma, you know her well enough to notice that she notices that there's a new arrival here and that there's something a little odd going on with this new character. But she knows better than to immediately you know, uh, poke her nose into your affairs. So yeah, so the Crook's Nook in the morning, after the guests from the night before have either passed out thoroughly or have left, um, is a good enough place to meet. It's not very busy, and Ottardo has some news for the group, which is that he, um, when crossing the market to get to Crook's Nook, he was stopped by Kaleno, who waved you over as he was, inspecting the market stalls that morning. Um, and he told you now, having uh, um, having come to terms with the news that the man he's been hunting, or he's been hoping that he would be hunted down for decades, is finally behind bars, and he flat out grants you a 20% discount on top of your 10% discount that you already get, um, for anything that you want to buy at the market. Unfortunately, the market stands, as you also know, seeing them being set up in the morning. They have food stuff and general adventuring gear. They also offer some simple weapons that like traveling tradesmen try to sell here, and some light armor, but there's no fancy magic items, no heavy equipment. Like it's just a market for everyday needs. But still, a total 30% discount is, it's nothing to shake a stick your fist at. So all right, so let me skip ahead a day on our calendar here, and then there we go. It is wheel day. Clear skies today for a change. It is 68 Fahrenheit, so it's kind of like, comfortable, but not too warm. And you guys are all ready to go, I guess. You meet at the Crook's Nook. Ottardo has just shared the news of your new discount. What are you gonna do?
Oh, I feel very good about ourselves.
Uh, I, I believe we have some equipment we could dispatch or sell.
Yes, and we probably could manage some options. Ripping off breaking runes from our stars and transferring them to.
Yeah, is anyone of you able to do that?
Did he specify that that 30% discount would also transfer to being a 30%, allowing a 30% markup on the sale of any goods in his market?
No, he unfortunately cannot do that.
Will he be extra generous with his buying of things? No. Oh, very well.
All right. So, what is it you're looking to sell?
I think Ottardo would like to grab one of those striking runes and get it transferred to his Warhammer.
That I believe that takes some time, right? Is that more than a day?
I think what we've been going with so far is 1 day.
Okay. I believe you're right, but let me double check. Anything else?
I think so. I think I'll grab the other striking rune. I just wonder what would be better to put them. Can striking rune applies to the short bow?
Yeah.
What of I don't know if has he lingered around Augrael? Is he did he wander off into the woods or has anyone seen him?
Matt, I think
Oh,
we
sure,
cut
but
out again.
yeah, sure, but at the same time, I haven't seen the villagers pick up torches and pitchforks, so I think he'll be fine.
Yeah, I think we would hear about
He
it.
goes, "Oh, I'm right here. I'm right here."
Oh. Oh,
Pops out from behind a shelf that he was perusing.
um,
Man, Atari has so much stuff, you guys. I don't know why you ever leave this. I don't know why you'd ever go in the vaults if you have this whole place.
yes. Well, you see, it's a sort of preventative measure, the entering of the vaults. For we do fear that there could be some danger lurking down there, which might destroy this quaint little town. And based on what we've seen, the destruction could potentially spread even further to the grand city of Absalom. If you think that this place is a wonder to behold, then well, your mind will be positively blown by Absalom. So that is why we go into the vaults to preserve the good things that are here. You might say.
And then I'll go too to preserve wonder.
Oh, that's very generous
If
of
you guys
you.
want me to come with you.
Yeah, sure, I don't mind.
Well, since Souma's good with it, yes, of course. I mean, I personally, I take no, I brook no issue with it. Kind of side eyes the paladin.
Mhm.
The paladin is like deep in thought.
But doesn't
Right.
object just yet.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, in that case, if you do intend to join us, as you've seen yourself, it is quite dangerous down there. We have encountered many harrowing foes and moments of near death. If you were to join us, you should be properly equipped, armed and armored. Is there anything that might aid you in, not meeting your true death?
Yeah, I did grab. I've spent so long down there now that I do have some equipment that I grabbed when we went to the showers. I forgot to grab it before we went to see the wolf guy. It would have been helpful then, but hindsight and all that. But now I have it. I should be good. I think I'll be fine.
Oh well, very good then. Very good. If you are aiding in the raiding of the vaults, then you should feel free to share in its spoils as well. That is all I wish to say. No need to stand on politeness or ceremony.
Sounds good to me. I'm good right now, but I'll definitely, take a share of whatever we find.
Very good, very good.
Okay. So you set out to do your shopping for the day, I assume, and then probably start
Well, I
heading
think
back
we
to the
can
vault?
actually have set up shopping and still have time to try and delve deeper.
Yeah, sure. So, those of you who want to have the runes transferred, you need to drop off both the source weapon and the target weapon. Just make sure that you cross that off your sheet. And just because Matt hasn't had the pleasure of meeting him yet, you stop at the smithy on your way out of town. You stop at Blades for Glades, which is it's the building is nothing too special. It's very practical in nature. It looks a little rundown, like it's probably been much more successful in the past, and whoever's running it now has not been doing a great job taking care of the building. Um, the equipment that's for sale here is mostly saws and axes and tools that are used in the lumber trade, which is the primary industry in Otari. But there's also bits and pieces of armor and shields and even some weapons. And some of those are actually they look quite well made. It's almost being like a craftsman, like having these passion projects, where they make something they know they're not going to be able to sell, but they just like making good things. And the
If I may, Simon,
Sure.
uh, for transferring runes, we've been going to Vandy, since you need to be a spellcaster to or
Oh,
to
you're
have
right.
magical craft. And in any case, Ottardo would avoid Rajani after the little price hike he's done.
Okay, well then, this scene that I was describing actually happened the night before, as Augrael was wandering town, and of all the houses that were in town, the smithy probably drew you to it because there was still light on in there. The fire in the smithy was still going, and there was the clanging sound of the hammer, and you maybe peeked in through the window, curious to learn what's going on there, never having seen such a thing, and you notice this guy grumbling to himself the whole time as he's working on what looks like a big band saw, the blade for a big bandsaw. And he's like grumbling and mumbling the whole time. And at first, you think that it's probably like mentally going through the steps of the process or something. But you notice that no, it's not what it is. It's he's like cursing under his breath the whole time, complaining about having to do this menial work, and he says things like, "I'm a Rajani for crying out loud, and look at what I'm doing here, repairing tools for these oafs. I was bored for greatness. Instead, I just hammer away at at at, at tools instead of artifacts of legend." And yeah, he seems quite annoyed by that. Okay, so that being said, jumping back
Yeah,
to
yeah. Augrael definitely doesn't disturb him or anything. He's just like, okay, okay.
yeah, I figured he would not want to confront the guy. Um, okay, so but then the next morning, all right, you're right, Sam. Thanks for pointing that out. It needs to be a spellcaster, so Carman would not be able to do it, but Wendy definitely is. And as you head out there, Lucca and Augrael, Ottardo, without missing a beat, turns his steps towards the Dawnflower Library, which is this remarkable building on the edge of town, on the water's edge. And as you turn towards it, Lucca and Augrael, What do you do?
Oh, right, Augrael. The
Augrael's just
unfortunately,
walking like gleefully.
hold, Augrael. The
Oh,
people who run this library are super racist.
oh, damn it! Why did it have to be the library, man? Okay,
They
so
really,
what do we get
their
out here?
whole religion is based around hating our kind.
It's a shame, man. Too much hate in the
Yeah,
world.
so much hate. Yes, it is a foul, evil religion. Dark. They worship the sun. Can you believe it?
No, that's awful. So the sun burns everything in its
Yes,
path.
exactly. A source of fiery destruction, and they revel in it.
It's awful. Well, we'll wait out here, I guess, then, or wait over here.
I like to linger in the cemetery. It's the one good thing about this place. When they're going about their business in the library.
Famous,
I'll go there.
yeah, famously hateful place of ignorance, the library.
They're so
So,
close-minded there.
all right. So you head on up to the graveyard, which is on the top of the cliff, overlooking the library and the sea. But there's like a narrow path that quickly like meanders up there. Um, so you can go there while Ottardo and Soma, I would assume, head to the library first. This dreadful place of sun worshipping pagans, um, where their leader, the bubbly Vandy, is as always overjoyed to see you. It's like, and I thought it would be a good day because it started with the sun, hardly a cloud in front of it. It's just a perfect Rova day. So nice when we get a little bit of warm sun rays so late in the year. What can I do for you today? And you hand over your weapons and you put in your order for having the runes transferred, and she happily obliges, and she says, anything we can do to support your cause, and I'm sure we can find a way um, to use a little bit to reuse a little bit of materials we have left over from other things. So I think we can give you a little bit of a discount here. So yeah, so your 10% are good at Vandy at the library too.
Okay.
Okay. After that, you dropped off your weapon. You head on up to the cemetery, where Lucca is. I mean, Augrael, you might notice that there are a couple of open doors to some of the what are they called? Some of the mausoleums, some of the above ground tombs. Some of the doors are open. A couple of the graves have been dug up, but not in a like in a very systematic fashion. It looks more like they erupted and there's just earth that's sprayed everywhere. Kind of weird.
Very weird.
Sure is.
Lucca would probably fill him in on the incident here.
I think you actually need to fill Matt in.
Yeah. Well, you see, it was how long ago was it? Like a week at this
I
point,
think almost
something
a
like
week
that.
ago.
Yes, it was just about a week ago now that there was an incident here. A light, terrible light, shone out from the top of the Gauntlight tower above the vault. And it shone right here upon the cemetery. It roused the dead from their graves and their crypts, but not good, upstanding undead like ourselves. It
The
seems
bad
that,
apples.
well, I'm not even sure that they were bad, but it seems that they were under some sort of control from the light and the tower. and they were forced brutally to throw themselves off the edge of the cliff that you see here, and their bodies fell upon the top of the library. Of course, the weak-minded and presumptuous only saw it as an attack from the undead upon their sacred place of learning, without admitting that there was some other darker force at work. But they did also try very hard to kill us and nearly succeeded. And there was some sort of weird bug monster thing that got summoned. I think I was unconscious for that part, so I wasn't didn't see it. But yes. Anyway, the point is that there was some sort of magic from the tower that rose the dead and apparently controlled them. It was a hard-fought battle, uh, but usually it
Some
doesn't
sort of
do
light.
any. Yes, I
Would Augrael have any knowledge of this at all?
I think yes. So as Lucca describes that, and maybe at some point you have the presence of mind to ask like when did that actually happen, and Lucca
Yeah.
points out how long ago it was, and you realize like, whoa, that was that weird time when the energy shower on the library floor kind of like supercharged for for a little while and then stopped altogether before like slowly building itself up again.
Yeah, you know that you know what you call the showers? Just around that time, they really went haywire, and then they shut down for a second. I bet it has something to do with it. I don't. It's definitely involved with the showers some way.
Intriguing. So perhaps it is some sort of method to channel void energy, and when it is released with sufficient power and concentration, it can reanimate the dead, call the souls of. How does that work in Golarion? Are the souls actually called back into the bodies, or are the bodies reanimated without souls in them? I forget.
It's like a fraction of the soul that is used
Right.
to animate.
Forcing a fragment of the soul back into the corporeal remains. Intriguing.
Mm.
And as you discuss these things, Ottardo and Soma are going to join you. Maybe Ottardo even filled in that little detail, like saying fractions of souls that are forced into the bodies to animate them, not hiding his disdain, I would say, of the practice of creating undead.
Well, gentlemen, do you have any plans for the day?
Oh, I have been pondering for some time the potential. I have nearly enough coinage saved up myself, and when I was looking at our collective loot, it occurred to me that there's plenty in there as well. That I might be able to acquire another wand, although I was not sure what would be of use to us. I could simply acquire another wand of heal if you thought that having an extra of those in store would be useful, or if I were to significantly deplete our resources, I could even acquire a second level wand, perhaps something like restoration. I do not know what, as much as it pains me to think of carrying such deadly magic around, I could acquire restoration, yes. Or I can simply hold off for the moment, because honestly, I'm not really sure what else I need. Although, if Augrael is to join us, then perhaps it would be wise to have an additional source of the rejuvenating powers of harm.
That could be useful, yeah.
I think you're correct. It might prove to be much more useful to have, like one a good one and one not so good one.
The
Exactly.
good one being the harm one, right?
Indeed, that's what they say.
Yes, of course. That's what I meant.
It might
Because I
take
mean,
some of the pressure off of you as well, Soma, to have to be constantly worrying about healing people.
Well, I kind of feel like I'm growing into the role a little bit. I mean, I can cast restoration myself, so at this point, so it's not as pressing to get one do it right now.
Fair enough. Oh, there is a second level spell that I would be able to cast through a wand as well. Since we haven't encountered much need for it as of late, there's the potential to cast see invisibility. Can I cast that on anyone else, or when I cast it through a wand, can I only target myself? Not actually sure how that works.
It doesn't actually name a target. It just says you
doesn't.
can see invisible creatures.
That's yes. So, does that mean that even if I used a wand, I still only would be able to use it on myself?
I would think so, right?
Yeah.
Oh well, that's perhaps less useful then. Although it would
Or I don't.
remove
Yeah.
the need for me to have that spell in my repertoire, but that can be saved for another time. Yes, perhaps I will acquire a wand of harm. Oh yes. Let's see here. I will need to take some gold from the stash, though, as it were. See. Can our
It's fine with me.
first level wands are first level wands common enough that like I can just expect to walk into a shop and buy one, or does it
Yes.
depend on the
So
spell?
there's, yeah, I think that's reasonable. It's also not a very uncommon spell, so
Yeah, it's a common spell.
yeah, that's fine. I would say that it's a little bit of an oddity if it's a harm one, right? Is what you're saying?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a little bit of an oddity, so you'd probably have to go to Rin's for that. But
No
yeah,
more dangerous than going out and buying a crossbow or a sword.
it's just not as useful to most people, so most people wouldn't have it in their shop. But Rin is
Oh,
just,
very well.
he's
Yes.
curious about it.
Ah, very good. Hello, Rin. I'd like to buy one wand of harm if you have such a thing in your little collection, your menagerie.
Yeah, Matt, just to let you in on that. So Rin is obviously a tiefling elf. She's a bit
Love that
of an
art.
oddball, living in the town, and she has this like curio shop that is not even advertising that it is a shop. It's just it's a ring of what appears to be standing stones in like a 60-foot diameter circle around a 15-foot high dome of wooden beams covered with triangular pieces of canvas. But if you take a closer look, you'll notice that those standing stones are actually wood frames and canvas. It's just made to look like granite, so it's kind of a whole contraption, almost like a carnival attraction. And she lives in there, and she is surrounded by, bric-a-brac. Some of that is magic items. There's a bunch of different wands and staves and worn items and necklaces and pendants, but there's just as much just junk as there is useful equipment. Are you going with Lucca to the store?
Yeah, I try to go with them.
Okay, so you might notice that I'm not sure if I'm speaking out of turn here, but I think Lucca would probably be a little tense when he goes in there because his interactions have always been slightly awkward with Rin. Because it's once again you can quickly notice why, because Rin turns around and her like completely white silvery eyes fall on Lucca, and she says almost ominously, but for no discernible reason, she says, "Ah, the Seeker has returned. What is it that you need now, friend?"
Augrael like looks
That's
behind them like there's someone else.
oh, that's a thing she calls me. I suppose. Yeah, you probably would have noticed that he was like he was probably excessively like complimentary of Rin as his approacher. Oh yes, she's wonderful. Good answer. It's very it's quite clever the way that she's designed the standing stones and blah blah blah. And then the minute that they get there, he's like, yes, hello, Rin. This is well, I've come to do some shopping, but yes, this is my a new friend, new acquaintance that we've made down in the vaults. It would be rude not to introduce Augrael. This is Rin Civixi, proprietor of Rin's Wonders. It's in the name.
Hi, Bryn. Was that as painful for you as it was for me?
And she chuckles a little bit and says, "I does your kind still feel pain? I was always curious."
Emotional pain, maybe. Not a lot of physical pains, but I don't know. I don't remember what it was like to feel things, so I'm not sure if I still do or not.
Hmm.
I guess that's
I
it.
see.
I'm not sure.
I see. I see. Well, you've certainly come to the right place, she says, and she continues to do what she did when you arrived, which is that she's like opening up the canvas around that center structure so that the light falls in, since it's a rather sunny day, and the light of the sun falls on the various uh, thingamajigs she has out there, and she says, "It's you really need to see it under the light from above to truly appreciate the value of these things." And she grabs a handful of what looks to be just glass marbles, but they're very sparkly in the sunshine. She says, "Isn't this truly a wonder?" She holds it out to you.
Yeah, yeah, those are very cool, cool marbles. Um, I don't know, everything's so new to me, so I'm torn between saying something is wonderful and looking silly, or admitting that I find everything wonderful. Your standing stones, your shop, everything.
"Well, aren't you sweet? How refreshing of a change of pace," she says, shooting Lucca a look. Um,
Well, it is called Rin's Wonders, of course. So yes, it would all be wonderful, wouldn't it?
well, which one of my wonders have you come for today?
Oh, wand of harm, please, if you have one.
Oh, I see. And she walks around her collection and pulls out a couple of random items. She stops every now and then and kind of gets lost in a particular intricate looking item. Like maybe it's a clockwork mechanism that can play a little melody before she realizes, oh yeah, I was actually looking for something completely different. Um, and that happens a couple of times before she finally pulls out a wand that is like dark black ebony wood, potentially very like twisted looking, very gnarly, um, and engraved with runes. And she holds it and like, you know, uh, um, moves her hand along the length of it, and you realize Augrael. Hold on. Am I saying that? Hold on. Yeah. And you realize that she's actually casting a spell. Probably like reading the aura of this item or something like that. And then she holds it out, presents it to Lucca, and says, I believe this is what you came to look for.
Precisely. It is what I came seeking. Let's see here. Oh, yes, I can feel a rather a pleasant, magical tingle through the handle. Unlike that awful wand of you. Oh, but yes, no, this ought to be perfect, Rin. Thank you. Um, let's see. What do I owe you for it?
That's 54 gold pieces.
Oh, yes, of course. Let me empty my wallet and then take some more from the stash. Yes.
Yeah, I will pay for that. 54. I'll take out 48 from myself and then another 6 from the stash.
All right.
And okay.
Yes. Thank you. This will hopefully help to keep us coming back for more visits, and
Oh,
pleasantries.
I can't wait, she says as she continues to prepare her wares for the day. All right. Anything else you want to do in town, or should we move to the Gauntlight?
I think Luke is good.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yep.
Bingo.
All right. Where do you want to go? Do you want to go right back where you fought the Wolfman, or do you want to go somewhere else first?
I think there is good
There is no.
because
Yeah,
we don't
there's
want to go
nothing
back
actually.
to.
Nothing is gonna eat us there anymore, so we actually can properly look around.
All right. Okay, I think we're gonna give Birke a break today. You know, she's been knocked down so many times. She's probably grateful to have a day off. The fire at this point is out. The little campfire, so the cave is dark when you enter. Only the light that you bring yourself is illuminating it. Is there? I don't think there's a light spell on anyone, so some of you might not be able to see very much.
Yeah.
Uh,
Right. We had we had the light spell on Birke, so I think Soma will. Well, she will put light spell on herself, and well, we have the Ottardo with Wayfinder.
yeah, just need to pull it again.
All right, there you go. Okay. I'll give you the description of this room once again. So it's you're in an immense cavern. It's cold and damp. There's water dripping from the condensation, and it's collected, or it's been collecting into this large still lake. There are thick patches of moist mushrooms. Some of them are actually nearly 4 feet tall, so they're quite enormous mushrooms, and they grow along the western shore of this little lake. There's a narrow trickle of water that feeds in from a tunnel to the south. And yeah, the pavilion you stand on is made of stone. It sits in the middle of the lake, about 10 feet above the water level, um, held up by more than a dozen stone columns. The pavilion itself is also encrusted with damp and pale fungus, just covered in it. These two bridges are also made of stone. Um, One is connecting to the door in the east where you came in, and one is connecting to a door to the north. Yeah, the campfire in the center of the pavilion is long burned out. You might still see the remnants of Yowl's campsite. You'll definitely see a what's it called, like where the wolf had his little bed. But that's pretty much it. Oh yeah, and you see an opening in the cave down here, which is, if you recall, where the light went.
Oh, what happened to the wolf exactly? Since we did spare its life but slaughter its master.
Did you bring him with you, or did you leave him here?
I think we left.
Don't think we
Augrael
had.
probably would have eaten it.
Oh well, that answers that then.
There's probably some of the corpse left, but it's like there's a huge chunk out of like the rib cage area. Like, yeah.
Yeah, works for me. I don't know how everyone in the party feels about that, but sure, we can do that.
Well, I mean, that dog tried to eat, I think.
Yes.
Wooden room.
So which way should we go? Straight ahead, all right.
Do you not wish to follow the light? The ghost letters?
Well,
I
I wish to, but we'll have to jump. But I think.
actually think we never saw them here.
We did. We saw them go this way.
Did we?
They hopped over and they went down this way. Yes. I
Because
mean,
last time,
I'm quite curious about the structure. I'm all for opening that door.
yeah,
But
but I just mean when we went down last time, we weren't following the light.
we were. Oh no, we did follow it.
No,
That's
we knew that it went down these stairs, but we weren't following when we went down the stairs. So we,
No, but
Last time, yeah.
but you encountered another haunting there, or another manifestation
right.
where the light spelled out some. It was almost like it was waiting there for you to catch up all this
oh,
time.
That's right.
all
And
right.
yeah, and then it left you a message on the wall, and then slithered into this cavern, and then went off to the southwest, like Anthony said.
Huh. Uh, well, I guess we could try that. But it does look like a bit of a difficult drop off to negotiate.
That's about 10 feet down into the water.
Yeah, jumping into water with a full suit of armor.
Lucca
Ottardo is
will
not-
like take a small rock from the campfire and he'll just like kick it over the edge and see what happens when it splashes in.
Yeah, it goes glunk as it is swallowed by the little lake. Let me see how deep that lake is. It seems to be pretty deep. Like it sinks so deep that you don't see the rock anymore. And I would
Well,
say
Do you want to
also,
go this way?
you can also kind of see it on the map, and I think that's what it would look like to you too. That because the water is pretty clear, and
Yeah,
the shore drops off pretty quickly.
okay. Well, maybe we can go through the door and we can find a way to circle back through these stairs.
very well. Didn't realize Ottardo had such an aversion to getting wet.
Well, it's brand new armor.
Where do you guys want me in the party order? Where should I go second, or not that we're a party? I mean, I'm not saying we're friends or anything. Like, we could have that discussion down the line. But
Okay, we're not.
I think you and Ottardo will get along quite well together in combat, so perhaps you ought to stick close to him.
Right.
Ooh, stairs. Am I seeing correctly that one goes up and the other goes down?
It looks. Hold on. That's a good question. I think they both. Hold on a second. You go in if you're gonna go clockwise, so turning left. Hold on. The stairs. You go up. Yep. So to your right it goes down. To your left it goes up.
Okay.
Yeah. It's They just keep climbing. Sorry, I'm gonna have to give you a little bit of a description here because it's not just a regular hallway. It's 5 foot wide, but the walls are shimmering a little bit. Um, there's a ripple of like pale blue energy every now and then, sort of faintly flashing alongside the walls. Yeah, to the west it leads upwards, to the east it leads down. And then there's always a brief landing every couple of steps.
Uh,
Does Lucca pick up on any magic? Is he's doing that as his exploration activity?
Oh right, I haven't asked Augrael yet. What do you do, or is he
Oh,
just
yeah.
moving around?
What are other
So
people doing so I can fill in a bit?
Ottardo is using defend to have his shield raised in case of combat.
Okay.
Yeah, I usually have investigate, but at this point, I think someone kind of wants to be on her guard. What
Okay.
kind of activity that?
sorry, what did you say, Curtis?
I mean, I kind of want Soma to stay on her guard, on her on her guard. So
Maybe scout?
maybe yeah.
Mhm.
I think Augrael will search, looking for like traps or anything weird. Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. On the party sheet, there's an exploration tab where you can set your activity, or
Perfect.
can you, or I think even on your character sheet, you can set it on the exploration tab.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when you hit active, it should go up on my sheet as well.
Um, there we go.
Yep, that worked. All right, okay. So Augrael, probably not really as worried about other monsters as the rest of the party because he's been living down here for so long, has been able to avoid them for so long, is really keeping an eye out for anything that might be interesting and pique his curiosity. That makes a lot of sense. Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah, and Lucca is occasionally mumbling a couple of words, and you see like runes glow around his wrists as he occasionally casts detect magic. And yeah, Lucca, it's hard to tell. I mean, it's clearly some sort of magical effect that's going on here, but it's like the whole walls, like all of it, appears to be magical in some way, kind of like very uniformly. Um, so yeah, there's not much you can tell from that because it doesn't seem to have any obvious effect to it.
Does casting read aura grant any further insight, or
You cast read aura on top of that, and let me check something real quick.
School of Magic? It basically just
Yeah,
gives me School of Magic.
yes. You think that it is some kind of conjuration effect?
Ugh. This this magic has the ability to conjure, although I'm not sure if that means it would bring something into this hallway or transport something out of this hallway.
Either of that is good.
Maybe it links to maybe it links to the elevator system we've seen, and Ottardo will move
Or the
forward.
teleportation system we've seen. There does seem to be an internal teleportation system. Not that we've tried it yet.
Yeah, so you continue to climb the stairs. They lead up, up, up as you go there. And yeah, at some point on the left, a little very short hallway branches off with a door at the end.
Ah, good.
And you open it. You open it up, and you peer into a vast octagonal chamber. The walls here are carved and painted to resemble a sprawling graveyard that's half sunken into a swampy morass. So it's imagery that at this point is somewhat familiar to you, especially because all the graves in the mural are open and empty. There are also a bunch of carved images of shrieking ghosts that parade upward into the hungry pupil of a malevolent eye at the apex of this room. So they
Damn.
like on the walls you have these empty graves, and then there's the ghosts that have left these graves. Probably that's what the artist wants to show you. And they're moving up towards the ceiling of the room, and then at the highest point of the room, there's this eye, and they're all moving towards it, and the eye is obviously like kind of consuming these ghosts. There's a circular 15-foot diameter platform that sits in the middle of the room. You're looking straight at it. It's raised about 3 feet off the surrounding floor. And the platform itself supports an altar, which is just a single stone. It's like an irregular slab of rock. And it's marked by 7 deep indentations. And you can't shake the impression of like a huge 7-fingered hand that had gripped the stone with enough force to like crush these or to like bend the stone to make these indentations. And now and then you see like a faint blue light flicker and pulse inside one of these. And even with your magical light, you have a hard time seeing what exactly it is, but there are a couple of small objects lying just heaped atop the altar.
Oh, Lucca, you might want to check this.
Oh. It's a bit narrow through here, excuse me. Oh my goodness. Indeed.
So, Simon, you said on the walls it was all just images of tombs being opened and ghosts going up.
Yep, that's it. Yep, it's a graveyard half sunken in a swampy morass. All the graves empty and the ghosts rising up and being consumed by that eye at the top of the room.
Is there some knowledge check that maybe Augrael or anyone could do to like figure out what these are depicting or what it is? It seems like a shrine or an altar, but to who or
Yeah, sure, go ahead. There's a
Alright.
prompt for religion check. Feel free to roll that.
Kind of somewhat similar to.
Right, so that kind of makes sense. Like so far, and apparently continues to be the case. Again, this imagery isn't new to the group, but they have not been able to put a name on whatever entity it is that is being worshipped here. But Augrael, you might have seen it before, and Lucca, when Augrael names that entity, it like it's almost maybe it's a memory from your life before you became a skeleton that is kind of triggered by that name, but it takes you. You feel cold, which is weird because you haven't felt cold in a long time. as Augrael names Nimbaloth. And Augrael, you yourself probably don't know much about this. You've only heard other denizens of the library level utter this name in reverence. You know that the high priestess of that ghoulish cult that you mostly like stayed away from, but you know that there was they were mostly revering what they called the canker, but she also prayed occasionally to Nimbaloth. Um, and so you know that it's some sort of divine entity that a lot of creatures in the vaults revere and worship. And you know that it's connected to this imagery, but that's pretty much it. That so
Okay.
it's something about ghosts and swamps, but that's it. And again, Lucca, to you, it's like there's no knowledge that gets unlocked by this mentioning, but it's like this name, yes, that's not just words, that is true. And it strikes at your core to hear that name spoken out loud.
Yeah, they used to pray to this Nimbaloth, and they'd say it all reverently, like Nimbaloth, Nimbaloth. And I was just repeating it over and over again. Excellent. Good.
Yeah, Luca goes like uncharacteristically quiet and still as he's gazing at this chamber and this whatever this is in the middle.
Yeah, and let's get to that. So as you walk into that chamber, and I believe Lucca was called out to check out what that is more
Mhm.
closely. And Augrael looks around, and then kind of almost naively says the name Nimbaloth, and it like echoes
Oh
through
no.
this large chamber, and you hear uh, like a clicking sound coming from the altar, and you see some movement on top of the altar. And then the lights in those indentations, like they flare up, and a bunch of stuff happens.
Oh
So
boy.
let's move into initiative, and then we can
Okay.
see which order things happen.
Good thing Suma was scouting.
Yes, add +1 to your initiatives. Yep. Okay. All right. We got that. All right. So one more thing before we get started is that I would like everyone to make a will save, except for Lucca and Augrael.
We will soon discover that there are many perks
Oh
of being
no.
undead in this place.
All right.
Oh,
Soma, you are frightened 2, and Ottardo, you're okay. All right. We got that so far. So something here, Soma, really rubs you the wrong way, and especially then when like the name echoes through this chamber. You've never heard it before, but it just freaks you out. And it certainly doesn't help that from those indentations, one of the lights flare up, and one of those lights actually like turns into this band of light that arcs up from the altar. And let me show you what that looks like as it kind of turns into a creature. Um, do I have a way to show you? Yeah. So it's like it arches like a band of light at first, but then there's this almost hair-like strands that add texture to the light as it kind of like whoosh, whirls around. Very weird looking,
damn.
flickery, wispy sort of thing. And what it does is um, it moves forward, flickering as it does. Can you see it? Because it should be
It's
visible.
like translucent.
Okay, that's weird, but for some reason, why is it doing that? Let me see. Now it's
Now it's
probably
gone.
gone. And it's still translucent.
Yeah.
Still translucent.
Weird. Okay, well, as long as you can see it, that's fine. Yeah, and it starts to continue to like flicker and churn and flit through the air, right next to Lucca's head. And it like along its entire length, it flashes and sparkles in a bewildering array of pulsations. Lucca, please give me a will save.
Oh. Oh dear.
Oh, I see why. Wow, that's cool. Okay. So, yeah, we'll see in a second.
Do basic undead benefits or Marshall's aura apply? For some reason, Marshall's aura is turned off. I don't know why it's doing that right now, but
Martial aura should only apply against fear effects.
It is not a fear effect.
okay. All right then. I guess it automatically turns them off if it knows what kind of effect it is. 27?
All right. I mean, you look at it. You know that this spectacle is trying to like, draw your attention, but you know that this is probably just a distraction, so you don't get, um, fascinated by it. All right, and the reason why it's actually translucent, the token, is because the thing itself is invisible. It is glowing, and the light is sort of like almost like backlighting the creature itself. So you see it against its own glow in a way, but it's not like you can actually see its physical body very well.
Highlighted.
Yeah, you can think that. Yeah. Okay, so that was that thing, and then it's Lucca's turn. I should say there's still movement on the altar, and there are still more lights in the indentations.
Lucca really wants to understand
You can maybe
what.
put on pauses.
Yes.
Yeah, Lucca wants to make some sort of knowledge roll to try to understand what the hell he's looking at.
Okay. Give me occultism, or if you have any lore that might be relevant.
Spirits and devils.
Neither.
Uh-oh. Occultism. Well, I'm untrained in occultism, so
Well, you still have a chance, but not a very good one.
yeah.
But you nailed it.
Really? Okay, I'll take it.
So what do you know? You would think like this is no spirit. This is not, you're pretty sure that this is not a spiritual apparition. And it does have the fact that you can somewhat see its body against the light, tells you that there is a physical quality to it, so it's not incorporeal. You would think that it's probably maybe it has an elemental air spin to it, but you're pretty certain that it's an aberration. And you get one question.
Any special defenses, like resistances or things like that?
You wouldn't be able to tell because you don't know what it is really. You're just deducing from what you've seen it do so far and what you can perceive. But you do know that I mean it is technically invisible, so
Right.
that gives it the 50% concealment. Even though you can always tell it's never what is it? It's never unobserved, but it's basically always
Still
hidden.
concealed. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Lucca is gonna call out some aberrant force, not of this place, or at least warped by other influences. And it's invisible in case that wasn't clear. Yeah, well, I don't know. I don't know if there's any way for Lucca to determine this, if this is part of his check or if this is something else. Does this altar seem like it is in alignment with where the negative energy showers have been?
Oh, you mean in no.
On other floors?
No.
No, no way to tell.
And it's not
Okay.
even close.
Oh, it's not even close. Oh, it's definitely not. Oh yeah, because we went down to the shower, but we went over and then up to this one. Okay, so God, he's fascinated and curious, and he's shaken at the same time. This thing technically hasn't hurt him. But he doesn't like this room very much at all. God, I need to do something because I already took one action, so it's not like I can delay. He's just going to preemptively. He's been carrying the staff around. He's just going to preemptively pull out the wand of. Oh God, now I got to choose. He's going to pull out the wand of heal within action. Make sure he's got that at the ready. And then the third action, he's going to move away from it. That seems like a wise idea.
All right.
He's going to put Ottardo between himself and it as much as he can.
Okay. All right. The next thing that happens is that on the altar, something jumps up. At first you're terrified because it looks like something is trying to pull itself out of the rock itself. But then you realize that that's not the case, but it's not much more comforting because it's just a single hand, actually, a single detached hand that is running on its fingers, and scurrying over to you. So let me see how this works exactly. So first of all, here it is. Is that the right one? I think I got the wrong one, of course. Nope, it's the right one. Sorry. Here we go. That's not what has happened. Okay. He just very quickly. It just very like elegantly runs down the side of the altar, vertically running down it, and then lands on the floor and just continues to scurry towards you, and it's gonna pick one of you four. It's pretty much a even split here, so I'm gonna go top to bottom. Augrael. It comes scurrying towards you, and then it tries to jump at you, trying to strike you.
No touching.
Misses, and then tries a second time, and misses again. Okay, that was that, and then it's Augrael's turn.
Okay. I think he. I mean, dismembered hand. I'm not sure he needs to recall knowledge too much to know what this thing is, but I don't think he's going to bother recalling knowledge here, but he is going to, I think, spread out. So if I go here with a stride, am I flanking the hand?
Let
Yeah.
me see if it can be flanked.
Yeah, I guess that's a.
To my surprise, it can.
It can? Okay.
Yep.
And then he's gonna try hit it with his rapier because he doesn't want that thing on him, despite him liking flesh. Oops, I didn't target it, sorry.
That's all right. A 15 is a hit.
All right.
So that's 11 points of damage, and all of that comes through. So you pierce right through it, and it cramps up in pain. So we're definitely doing some damage here. Third action.
Yeah, third action he will he's gonna reach out and like claw it and try and like stamp it into the ground with his claw.
Right.
With his offhand here. Let's see.
Ooh, look at that. Critical.
Nice. Ooh. Ooh.
That's,
Brutal.
that's your regular damage though, so I'm gonna take double of that.
Oh, thank you. Yep.
Okay, so it takes 6 points of damage. Yeah, but it is so nimble, it's so hard to pin it down. You rip almost all of its flesh off of its undead bones, but even just the skeletal hand is enough for it to keep going.
All
Ottardo.
right. That's Augrael's turn.
Right.
So the other creature, is it invisible or is it just like difficultly visible?
It is technically invisible. You know which square it is in, and you see like its rough outline, but that's mostly just for flavor purposes. It's for mechanical purposes. It's invisible.
Okay, so we can target it, but it would be with a flat DC 11 or whatever.
Yep.
Concealed.
DC 11 check.
Concealed, I guess, yeah. Or hidden, maybe. Well, anyway, it doesn't matter. Hmm. Well, the hand thing seems to be handled well by Augrael. I think Ottardo will step forward, raise his shield, and try to maybe wildly swing into the square where the invisible creature is.
Mm-hmm. Go for it. That may be a hit. Let's
Oh,
see.
right, I forgot the flat check. That is not.
That is a miss indeed.
And that is his turn.
All right. Okay, more of the lights detach themselves and arc out of the altar, and one of it moves over here next to Augrael, and it once again also does this like flickering, undulating dance right next to your head. Augrael, give me a will save. Wow.
We're on rocks today.
Yeah, I'm surprised that Augrael is not even remotely interested in that at all. All right, so
I
that
need
that
to deal with
actually
this hand. I'll look at you later.
so that actually already concludes its turn, moving over there and doing its little dance. Then we have another one coming on over here, starting to glow, and then moving over here. Ottardo, give me a will save. Hold on. I'll prompt you for it. There you go. Tries to get your attention, but you're not going to let your guard down that easily. So you make your save. Okay, we have another one of those crawling hands scurrying down the side of the altar and moving over here, attacking Ottardo. With its claw, with what else? That is a hit, potentially. Don't know if you have anything to avoid that.
Not to avoid it, but he will shield block.
Okay.
Uh,
Nice.
So you completely absorb the damage, but it's still a successful strike, and I'm gonna say it's just kind of gonna grab your shield, um, with its where is it here with its grab action, and as you like try to shake it off, it jumps over onto your arm, and you are effectively grabbed, and it very quickly um runs up the length of your arm, and it just attaches to your neck. and it pushes down pretty hard. It grips your throat, and it's really hard for you to speak. So you would have to spend an extra action if you want to do anything with the verbal trait, as it's like holding onto your neck and trying to choke you a little bit.
Okay.
And that's the hand's turn, and it's Soma.
Yeah, I was going to wait because I'm writing too, but maybe Someone will strike the strings of her magically summoned harp and cast her courage first, so she doesn't feel. I try to make it lean.
With shaking voice. Actually, it's not voice, right? You're playing a tune, so with shaking hands, maybe a little off beat here. That's why you don't manage to make the composition linger.
But still works. So someone will, with her second action, whip out her rapier, make it an accurate draw. And with some shaking hands, she will like say, like, "Okay, Ottardo, don't move. I will cut it off." Can I actually try to strike this hand from him? If the hand is crawling up to him to strangle him.
I well, isn't that like helping him to his grapple check? I think there's a way to do that. That's essentially what it comes down to.
I mean, I want to stab the crawling hand of his neck.
Do you
You
just
can
want to
just
attack it?
Yeah, you can just
Yeah.
attack it, sure. Yeah, I thought you were explicitly trying to get it off of him.
No. I mean,
Yeah, you can-
stabbing it will eventually let go of him, right?
I hope.
I will. I kind of want to hear point.
Okay. All right.
There we go.
Ooh.
That's much better. Roll for damage. And 13 points of damage to the one on Ottardo. Yep. Yeah. You what is your weapon again? That's another rapier, right?
Yes, it's a rapier.
Yeah. You like run it through with your rapier, and it is definitely badly injured by that brutal attack. All right, that's your turn. More hands jump off the altar and come scurrying over, starting to swarm Ottardo, essentially. So we'll get another claw attack versus Ottardo. That's
Oh
a hit.
dear.
For another 5 points of damage. And I guess now you're grabbed by two of these creatures. And another hand comes running towards you. Runs right under that flying, glowing, flickering thing. And also attacks you. First with its claw itself, but misses, and then it just tries again. And this time it hits for 6 points of damage, just kind of scraping away at some exposed skin near your calves. Okay, let me see. I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to look that up real quick because it doesn't list the reach of these things. I feel like they should have a reach of 0.
Uh,
What?
are they tiny?
They
I think
are
it's kind
tiny,
of.
but it doesn't list a reach. But the rules say that if it has a reach of 0, it would be in your square. But it doesn't list the reach, so what does that mean? I don't know. I'm just gonna say they have to move into your square, so you're now covered in 3 of these crawling hands. Finally, one more of these flickering lights emerge from the altar, and this one moves over here and starts its captivating performance right next to Soma. And Soma, you're still frightened too.
Mhm.
Your condition doesn't go down.
Oh.
I'm done automatically.
Yeah, I know. I just put it back up. Oh boy.
Oh,
Well,
Yeah, so you're already frightened, and now you're getting confused from watching this
oh no.
this changing undulating light performance right next to you. Maybe that's why you couldn't make your performance linger, because you just go kind of slack jaw and you plink plink plank plonk plonk. You just stare at this thing moving, um, and that's the end of its turn. And then we are back at the flickering thing over here that is next to Ottardo, who is not yet confused, and I believe you don't get immune if you make yours safe. Yep, that is correct. A regular success does not make you immune, so it's going to try to get you, Ottardo, to become
Okay.
bewildered by its distracting pulsations.
Okay, it's not a fear effect. Okay.
Oh no.
And indeed, you fail, and you are now also confused. So that was 2 of its action, and with its, let me see, does it a confused condition? Each time you take damage, you can attempt a DC 11 flat check to recover from your confusion. So let's see. It'll at first it just kind of does this thing again where it glows and you can see it change color a little bit and flicker, but then all of a sudden it just kind of like um, unloads a little shock at Ottardo, but misses. Okay, but that also means no flat check for you to snap out of it. Lucca.
Just quickly, I think you applied confused on one of the
On
hands
one of the
rather than
hands,
Ottardo.
yeah,
Yeah,
you
I've
maybe.
put it on Ottardo.
There's too many hands.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is too many hands. Thanks. Yep. Lucca.
Yeah, Lucca sees the situation and he's just gonna be like, "Apologies, Sir Knight, but this will do more good than harm." And he is going to unload
You do have a
a.
pretty nice cone there.
I sure do.
Mhm.
A bone spray.
There we
I
go.
will take. I will take 7 enemies with a 15-foot cone. I will take that any day.
Okay, so that is an area effect, right? That's not a targeted effect.
It's not a
So
targeted effect.
yeah, so I'm going to say that there's no flat check necessary or anything.
Yeah, it's not
All
a
right.
strike.
Okay, so here we go. First, I'm going to need all my hands on deck. There we go.
Nice.
So let's go for 1 reflex, mated. Come on, another reflex, failed, and another reflex,
Ooh.
mated, and then we have those flickering thingies. Ooh, crit fail. Next
Yes.
flickering thingy succeeds, and next flickering thingy succeeds. And then there's one more hand up here. Fails. All right, so show me that damage.
Come on. Are you kidding me? Are you
Ah,
serious?
Wow. 2d10 piercing. Oh my god. Oh my god. That's what you spare your bones for? Okay, so
you
we
shoot
have
some teeth rather than full-size bones.
They do take the bleed at least if they fail.
Ah,
But that
okay, so
is
we This one.
Abysmal.
Well,
Oh, I
it
forgot. I
is-
should be rolling too, right?
this one,
Reflex.
oh well, it did. It is enough to bring one of those things completely all the way down.
Oh, you also have to dodge it, Ottardo.
I think he
There
did
you
well. So he takes half damage.
And you take no bleed,
I
so.
believe. Okay.
I mean, it wasn't much, but it took out two of those hands entirely.
That's good.
Got one of them to. Wait, and if they
Got it.
succeed, do they take half damage, right? So
Yeah.
okay,
Half damage and no bleed.
half.
Oh, it's so rough.
Half.
Oh, well, they technically take half of the bleed. Remember what happened to the wolf
Yeah.
guy?
Yeah, I remember.
Oh.
I've been meaning to read up on that if it should get rounded down or if it means every other round. But
Yeah, I have no idea.
yeah, because technically your damage usually gets rounded up to at least one. So I don't know. We'll see. All right. Yeah, you blow two of those hands to pieces with your bone shards and shower the rest. And then that was two actions, I believe. So you should have one left.
Yeah, oh god, one action. I could do a one action heal. I mean, he's not really hurt. Okay. I'm just gonna intimidate one of the hands on Ottardo.
Okay.
You saw what happened to Lefty. And he's gonna where is it? 22.
Against its will DC. Yeah, it kind of like seems to pause for a second, turns towards you, and then cowers down in a tiny little fist. Seems to be frightened. There we go. Okay, that was that. Augrael.
Okay, he has this this light thing next to him, right? He's gonna do a recall knowledge on it. I know that Lucca did, but he wants to learn a little bit more. What is the knowledge that I have to roll?
Occultism.
Okay.
21. Yeah, so that is an aberration. With the air subtype, you'd be pretty sure. Maybe you've seen them flit around the library level at some point. They're always like these dancing, twisting lights that you never can quite see them. You only see them when they're illuminated. And what do you know? Yeah, it does. Maybe you've seen them before, and maybe you've noticed that it almost seems like they relish fear. So maybe you've seen them like lure someone into a trap of some kind or into a hazard, only then to kind of stick around and watch them agonize over something as if they are feeding on that in some sense. And
Interesting.
I'll give you one more question about them.
Let's see. You asked about resistances, right, Anthony?
Yeah.
Let's do. Do they have any weaknesses?
None that you can tell. I mean, the fact that you can hardly even see them is, of course, pretty good for them.
Okay.
I guess you can tell by the one that already got injured that they don't seem to be able to withstand a lot of damage, but it's tricky to get them damaged. Yeah.
Okay. So after hearing that, he's gonna try and strike out with them. So I have to make a flat check, right? First.
Yep. It's a DC
All right.
11. All right, and that fails, but you have a third action.
Yeah, I'll try one more time. Why not? Oops, that's a D8, not a DC 20. Okay.
Okay. Right. Just don't forget the number 5.
So yeah, I was gonna. Okay, so I do still take the multiple time, even though I'm still right. Got it. All right. Mhm. Oh, that's target against the hand, I think.
Oh,
Still.
okay. Yeah. So if you're targeting the flickering wispy
Yeah.
thing, then that's a miss, actually.
Okay.
All right, Ottardo.
Well,
Oh, look at all
he
those
is.
conditions.
Yeah, he is confused. So I guess you decide who he attacks.
Okay, so let's see. You don't
Shit,
treat
I forgot
anyone
he
as
was
your ally,
confused.
and you can't delay ready or use
Yeah,
reactions.
this
So
is
you can only
brutal.
act to strike or cast offensive cantrips, though they can have used other actions to facilitate. Your targets are determined randomly by the GM. Okay, so I would say you have
Oh, I
your
would
2
have walked
hands on
away.
you. You have 3 of those wisps around you, and you're aware of them, and you have Soma and Lucca within reach. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All
I
right,
would have
I'll
just
roll
walked
you
away from
7.
the situation. I remember
And
that.
we'll see what happens. 3. Okay, so that's the flicker wisp over here.
All right. Quick
That's good.
question. Um, the confusion, he loses it on a flat check if he gets damaged by a flicker wisp or by anything.
I think every time you take damage, you can snap out of it. What does it say?
Because
Each
he
time
did
you
take.
take damage from an attack or spell, but it doesn't matter who is attacking you or which spell. So
Okay,
someone could slap you out of it.
okay, because Luca did spray him with bones.
After you got confused.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's your prompt.
All right.
All right, you're no longer confused.
Okay. Let's take that off.
See, I was helping.
I can see that. Uh, and now that he is back to his old self, he does benefit again from Inspire Courage, and he is going to swing at like I guess the priority would be the thing trying to strangle him.
Yeah, one of the hands.
Oops, sorry, that was not what I wanted to do. What was the button to cycle through the? Nope.
Z.
Z.
Maybe
Z.
Y if you're on a European keyword.
That's not it. Oop, not A. I thought I found it the other time. Well,
You
I'm
have to
just
be
gonna do
moused
this,
over.
and I'll target the guy there. Okay. Uh, and well, he is going to swing a silver hatchet at his own throat.
Always works. See, I told you.
Ooh.
I told.
Okay, roll for damage, even though I don't think we really need it. No, actually we do. That was already double. Wow. That hand, you slice off like 4 of its 5 fingers, but between the bloody rotten stumps and its thumb, it still holds on.
Wow. Well, he is going to try that again. Just die.
Yep. And it's just you're furious at this thing, and finally you manage to kill it off.
What did the thing ever do to you?
So I guess he is no longer grabbed. And for his last action, he is going to raise his shield.
There's a third one on you, but that didn't succeed in hitting, right? Yep. So you could step away.
Ah, uh, no, he'll raise the shield.
Okay. All right. Okay. More of the flickery things. Augrael. All right. First of all, you also recover from your bleeding. Augrael, next to you, it continues to flicker and try to get your attention somewhat desperately at this point. But you continue to ignore it, so it just frustratedly shocks you. Yes, it does successfully discharge 5 points of electricity in you. That was that thing, and then we have the one next to Ottardo. Okay, Ottardo, you snapped out of it, but it doesn't mean that you're immune. So give me another will save as it once again starts to wave back and forth, shimmer and flicker, but you're no longer interested in it, which it seems to notice, and it ends with its third action. Tries to shock you, but maybe you're grounded in your heavy armor. It doesn't seem to cause damage, and then it's Soma.
Um, well, Soma screams and attacks. Nothing. But it's up to you.
You are
Oh, she's
confused. Yes, and you
confused.
haven't taken any damage. Okay. So you have 1, 2, 3 enemies within reach. Let's roll a d3. And we'll go top to bottom. That is the flicker thing next to you.
Okay. And so, well, you could roll it. Because I'm gonna need to attack it with all my actions. So.
Oh, right, because you're yes. But doesn't it say that you use all your actions? Isn't it only one target, or do you target it every
No.
time?
It says that your target but randomly.
It does say your targets are determined randomly, so
Yeah, that's a good
I
point.
don't
All
know.
right, so, well, it's again, and then you finish off with the crawling hand on Ottardo.
So yeah, I mean, as I said, Soma, well, she still grips her summoned instrument in one hand, her rapier in the other. Her eyes ignite with a wild abandon, and she just starts swinging. Oh, one goes to this thing,
That's a miss.
another goes to the game.
That's another miss.
And
Another crawling hand.
in the next one, the summoned lute swings next to Ottardo's face.
Yeah, you really wildly just flail around with your rapier, causing more danger to yourself than to your opponents. And that's your
That's
turn.
okay.
The hand on Ottardo is going to try and do something. Let's see. You're currently grabbed. It is already gripping your throat.
It's not.
You're not grabbed, right? Because it didn't actually. It's just on you. So it runs up the length of your leg and continues upwards towards your neck. But you quickly turn around and almost shake it off, so it lands on your back and tries to come up again, failing to do so. And with one last attempt, as you brush it off, it tries to hold on and completely misses once again. So you shake it off, and it lands on its back, on the back of the hand, on the the stone tiles on the floor. Okay, and then we have the flickering thing next to Soma. Soma, you are confused. And okay, so Soma, you're confused and you can't really take your hands or your eyes off this color or this light display that's going on, even as you flail around with your rapier, wildly attacking everything and everything. Um, but you feel like how should I say it? It's somewhere in your head there may be still something in control, or at least something being able to be aware of your surrounding, even though you're not currently like pushing the levers of your body. And that last remaining shred of awareness feels like this thing is feasting on your confusion itself. And as a matter of fact, it heals um, 2 hit points because of your confusion. and your confusion is extended by another round. So that was
Ooh.
one, and then
Brutal.
action two is that it's going to try and shock you. Missing ones. Action three is trying to shock you again. This time it works for
Hi.
10 points of damage. Yeah, and as you like writhe in pain, confused still, you just again this like last little bit of you that is still aware and conscious feels like you're just being toyed with for some strange, unnatural pleasure that this thing is drawing from it. Horrifying experience. All right, so I think that was its second round, so I'm gonna say it'll now take 1 point of bleed damage. And then we have this one here in the back, which is next to Ottardo, and it's going to, first of all, start flickering again. So Ottardo, give me a will save.
Wait, that damage counts as
No.
something that can...
You're right. Yes, you can roll your flat check. That damage would count as taken damage. Okay, so you
Nice.
snap
Thank
out of your confusion. You're still frightened 2 though, so I put your frightened up to 2. Ottardo, you made your save against this
No, he failed
distraction.
actually.
What's that? Oh, you
Ottardo
did fail.
failed.
It
Yeah.
was Soma who succeeded, right? So Ottardo, you are back to being confused. Hold on, confused. Here we are. And the flickering creature is going to feast on your confusion just like it did previously on Soma. So it heals 2 points of damage, and then that's its turn. Lucca.
I might just do the same thing again, honestly. I was gonna move, but maybe if I can shake Ottardo out of it before his turn, it's worth him taking some damage. Plus I get the hand. Yeah, I think so. He can always heal up, right? After the fact.
You have the wand out.
I do have the
Yeah.
wand out. Yeah, he's like, don't worry, I'll do it. Actually, wait a second. That's a good point. I have the wand out in one hand. Does Bone Shaker have a material component? Because I would have had to drop the wand in order to actually cast it. No, it's just somatic and verbal. Great. Okay. Or not Bone Shaker, Bone Spray. Yeah, I was just gonna blast another Bone Spray into the same area.
Okay, can you roll the damage first? I think that'll make it easier for me to go through them.
Come on. It's a little better.
That's a lot better.
That's
I mean,
a
it's a
lot
lot
better.
better.
Yeah.
It's not great, but it's much better than it was.
Well, if it crit fails, that's pretty dang
Yes.
good.
Nice.
So yeah, so one of the hands you just kind of shred to pieces. It just basically the parts of the hand become part of the bone spray, and you get obliterated. Okay, then we have one of these flicker things that succeeds, so it takes half of that damage, and we have another flicker thing that fails, so it takes the regular damage. And we have yet another flicker thing, which succeeds, so it takes half of that damage. Whoops, that was wrong. Let's undo that. No, it's not wounded. It's not prone. This took half of the damage.
So just to be clear, I think this one should be taking Persistent Bleed 1 now, and this one should still be on Persistent Bleed 2 because it crit failed the first.
Yes. Oops.
Yeah.
And it for some reason it removed both of those. Shoot. How can I do that now that it removed it?
And of course, Ottardo still has to save too.
Oh, he succeeded.
Oh, I missed that.
I rolled first, yeah.
Okay.
All right. So I think I got it all sorted out. All right. Any actions left for Lucca?
Did that shake Ottardo out of it?
Good question. Let's see. Where's? Oops, sorry. I did not mean to remove your confusion so soon. Can you just roll a d20?
Yeah.
You continue to be confused.
So the only way I can free him from the confusion is to make him take damage.
Definitely the quickest way.
I mean, with one action, can I? I don't know if I can slap him or not. Do I have to get through his AC to slap him?
Yeah, I mean it's an attack. I would say so.
He's confused, so I imagine he's defending himself. He's
Yeah,
probably
he
like, "Oh
doesn't see you
no,
as his ally. So yeah.
Lucca has turned against me." Okay. Do I? Yeah, I try to smack him with. Why am I better with the unarmed strike than the staff of necromancy? Okay, fine, whatever.
That's weird.
It's because it's. I think it's the unarmed strike is dex based. I think that's why.
Mm.
Snap out of it,
Are you
man!
patting him on the back?
Your bony hand almost breaks in multiple places as you slam it against his plate armor. Augrael.
Okay. Augrael is going to I think he's just gonna swing 3 times instead of bothering even trying to well, let's swing first. Let's do a flat check.
That's a hit, potentially.
Nice.
And it is. It's an actual hit.
There we go.
Let's see that damage. 9 points. All right.
Okay. He will try again. He's gonna keep using the rapier. He doesn't really want to put his hand in this thing.
Could be a hit.
Let's see.
Oh.
Ah.
Misses.
And realizing he's sort of off in no man's land, I think he's going to stride back over towards Soma.
Okay. Ottardo.
Well, you get to choose who Ottardo
right.
attacks.
He's so confused. So I'm gonna start at 12 o'clock and then go clockwise. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see a D5. Okay. You luck out once again and target one of the flickery things.
Okay.
Your first attack, at least. Critically miss.
No.
Let's see. For the second one, you attack the one next to it.
Nice.
Which is
Oh,
maybe a
for
hit.
that.
Let's see
Yeah,
the
for
flat check. It is a hit. And then let's do the damage. 7 points. All right. So that's actually not too bad. And now you hit it again.
Okay, flat check.
But it's a
That's
miss.
a miss.
Okay. So who do we have? That's this one up here. It trails you, Augrael. You see the glow kind of fly after you. Oh, Amad's not here, but we can. I think I can roll forward. There he is. So yeah,
Yeah, I'm
Augrael,
good.
you
I can
see
hear
that.
you. I just had to step away.
Right, you can see that thing come after you, and start its swaying movements again, and its flickering lights. And you've been resisting it long enough.
I'm
that
gonna
now-
use a hero point there. I think.
All right,
See if I
go for
can.
it.
No.
That's hero points as we know them. Yeah, so like I said, you tried to avoid it long enough, and now your curiosity just gets the better of you, and you just kind of turn towards it, and the light, illuminates your face as your tongue lolls out, and you just watch it in confusion. The one down here next to Ottardo, who's still confused, is feasting on your confusion, and it does so once. So that is 4 hit points back. And those of you who can see it, you see that it's kind of like really, I mean, it's hard to tell because it's really just this sort of strand of light, but it does seem to be moving a little quicker for a moment as it just seems to truly relish sucking up all of this confusion. And that's another 3 points of healing before finally shocking Ottardo, but critically missing, which means you also don't get to snap out of it. That was that flickery thing, and then it's Soma.
It takes the persist. Okay, good. I see it. It popped the persistent damage.
I think what we do. Thomas still has a rapier in her hand. She will try to stab one of those things right in front of her.
Mm-hmm.
Could have hit.
Yep, but it's a miss.
Okay. Then, I mean, I kind of want to either let go, but basically, someone wants to takes the rapier in her teeth and to free her hand, and she will another inspire courage. And I will try
Inspire
to.
courage or competence?
Huh?
You said courage, but you posted competence.
Mm.
There we go.
Yeah. And
All right, the rapier.
I will try to make it
tastes,
lingering again.
All right, the rapier tastes nauseatingly like rotten flesh from the one of the hands. Let's see your performance.
Okay.
All right. Okay, your nerves apparently steady, and you succeed in making your composition linger. One of the
I still have one action, and as my
really?
action. Huh?
An attack, inspire courage, and lingering.
Lingering doesn't
Lingering
take
is free.
Oh, I thought it was a one action. Okay, go for it.
Yeah, and as my final action, I will not look at that thing. That's
Nice.
That's smart. Yep, that's very smart. Because it definitely is a visual
Very nice.
effect. All right, so that's good. So yeah, this thing is going to try to well, actually, Ottardo is also confused, so it can also feast on Ottardo's confusion, which it does. It's gonna try to heal because of that. It heals 4, and then it heals another 2, and then it's going to try to shock Soma. But Soma sees it coming and avoids the arc of electricity that
by the way,
bends her way.
Or maybe doesn't see it coming.
Right.
By the way, am I still frightened too? Is it stays like that?
Yes, I've increased it again. Okay, so the flicker thing takes some damage and tries to recover. It succeeds, and then it is the other flicker thing's turn, which is also next to Ottardo, so it can also consume his confusion to heal 2, and then heal another 4, and then try to shock him, which is somewhat counterproductive, but they really enjoy playing with creatures' fear and pain. So that's 6 points of damage for Ottardo, and you get your check.
I'm trying to see the description of confused. Can Ottardo could he use a reaction to block that?
No. You don't have your wits about you, and you can't delay, ready, or use reactions.
Okay, can't use it. Okay, so that is damage, and then flat check.
Okay.
Yes.
You
Oh my
managed
God.
to shake off the confusion. Lucca.
Even one round of confusion is bad. God, they just
Mhm.
healed
Yeah.
up so much. Okay. Luca's gonna step or stride over here, and he's just continuing to shotgun blast away.
It's like all the way down to his stump, to his elbow at this point. Okay. Yeah, let's do this again. Where you roll the damage first, and then I can roll their
Just,
saves and apply it.
nice, neat. Catch the three of them. Oh God, 9 points. Yes,
Well,
die, please.
indeed, the first one gets blown away. I mean, it took the full brunt of this, so kind of covering the second one here. And the third one as well. So both of those benefit from the fact that the first one just kind of gets disintegrated by the spray of bones. All right, so that's 2 actions for Luca, or was
That's
it movement
I
2, right?
strode.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
Augrael.
done.
He is confused. So it's up to you who I hit.
Yeah, hold on, I gotta do some persistent damage
Yeah.
stuff here first, because that is not working right with. Because it shouldn't add together half a point of bleed and 1 point of bleed as 2 conditions. Somehow it does. All right, so you're confused. You have 1, 2, 3 within reach. So we're going to start with Soma and then go clockwise. That is one of the flickery things that you attack first.
Okay.
The one at the top. That could be a hit.
All right. Let's see. Oops. Targeted, and then. Oh.
But it's a miss.
Oh,
Second attack is Soma.
oh no.
All right. All right. Oh no. Okay.
Okay, and Soma again.
All right. Let me try one more time. I don't think this will happen.
And another miss. Okay. Ottardo. You see Augrael turn on you.
There's bad luck.
uh, Ottardo will raise his shield first, then he will target the creature right in front of him.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, actually, when Soma cast Inspire Courage, he couldn't have benefited from it because of the confusion, but could it apply now?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's lingering, so I don't see why it wouldn't now.
Oh, yeah, true. There's also the linger. Okay. So he is going to swing. Well, let's do first the flat check.
That's a
That
miss.
doesn't work, and he's going to try again, and that doesn't work either.
Okay. The flickering thing up here, Augrael. You are. You have the same experience that I described to Soma, where it's feasting on your confusion once, and then one more time, and then finally it tries to shock you, but misses somehow, which means that you continue to be confused. Soma.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I can try to stab these things properly. So Soma will finally drop her instrument and will grip the rapier the correct way, spit away the horrible aftertaste, and put her with.
Yeah, maybe a hit. Let's see.
Yes,
That is a
yes.
hit.
Nice.
8 points of damage, and that satisfyingly
Nice.
causes the glow to sort of fade out.
That action was supposed to be first. So. Sorry. Ugh.
Okay.
Okay, so
have one
I
left.
don't have any actions left. I have to just step forward.
Okay. Got it.
That's it.
Then we have one of these left. So is there anyone confused nearby? Yes, Augrael is within reach of that consume confusion ability. So it heals once and it heals again. And then it's going to try to shock Ottardo because he's such a hunk of metal. That'll work. But somehow, Ottardo, full presence of mind, avoids the lightning bolt. Lucca.
I think I'm gonna try to conserve my last spell, second level. So I'm gonna step up, and I'm gonna pull a little cantrip out of my bag to hit this guy with a chill touch.
All right. Which one did you target?
Sorry, this one.
Okay. So that's
The only one I can
40.
reach from here.
Right. Fortitude.
And
Fails.
he'll take 7 points of damage.
7 points of damage is enough to suck the life force out of it entirely.
I wanted a 2 again. Okay. All right. That's my turn.
Okay, and that leaves only one. Augrael, you're confused, so you have 2 targets within reach. We'll do one is one is Soma, 2 is the thing. Soma.
Oh no! Oh no!
Okay. Soma again.
Oh my god.
Oh man!
Okay.
Oh no!
No, Augrael!
Hi.
Oh no!
That's
Uh, yeah.
2.
Ottardo is going to react to that and grant resistance 6 to Soma.
I guess Ottardo knew he wouldn't trust Augrael.
Yeah, our girl's probably just like looks like he's gonna eat Soma if he could.
Okay, and the last one goes against the flickery thing.
Oh, good. Let me do the flat check first. Okay.
Okay, a miss. Ottardo.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Ottardo is going to lay hands on himself.
Mm-hmm.
Why does it say? Okay, I can turn that off. Okay. And then he is going to stride over here
Mm-hmm.
and target the last remaining creature.
All right, let's see that flat check. Okay, let's see the attack roll. Okay, let's see the
Yes.
damage.
That's a little disappointing.
But it is enough to bring the creature down as it dies in front of you.
Now we all turn to Augrael.
Yeah, Augrael still like wildly flailing rapier and claws around. Now with all these things down, yeah, I guess we're gonna have to continue to go through initiative. Because there's gonna be at least one more round of confusion. Soma.
I run away.
You leave Augrael to his frenzy. Lucca.
Well, he already stabbed me once.
Yeah. Augrael, we're your we're your acquaintances.
He just hisses at you.
Oh, what's down here? Yeah, Lucas just hoping it'll wear off on its own.
Okay. Augrael, you let me see when that happened. Nope, you have one more round of confusion, so you seek out the closest target, which is Ottardo. And
Okay.
despite the disparity in size and the futility of trying to attack him, you do so. So second
All
attempt to
right.
attack.
All right.
You hit him actually.
Oh, of course I roll well.
Ottardo will use his shield to block that.
Okay.
Oh, wait, what? Oh, I did not raise my shield. Oh, that's true. Yep, so it's the full damage.
All right, you take full damage. You get a little surprised here by Augrael and Ottardo. What do you do in response?
Uh, Ottardo is going to attempt to trip Augrael.
he needs to flat check, doesn't he?
Oh, do I flat check
Uh,
at the end of my turn?
To
No?
see if he breaks
That's when
the
you take
Oh,
confusion.
not for yeah.
Oh,
only when you take
it's
damage.
not a
Only when I
only
take damage.
Oh.
but I think Augrael is probably too slippery for that.
Yeah.
Well, this time Ottardo is going to raise his shield.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and then he's going to try again, tripping.
Okay. It's a -5 at this point.
Yep, so 25.
Ooh. 25. Yeah, that should be enough, I would think. Yeah. So you
What do I
bring
measure it
Augrael.
against?
I
I'm
think
sure
it's
it is, but yeah.
either reflex DC or fortitude DC. I always forget which one.
Okay, yeah, I'm sure.
Reflex DC, yeah.
Isn't it athletics DC if it's higher? Is there something like that?
No, it's just reflex DC. Athletics
Okay.
check versus reflex DC.
All right. So Augrael, you hit the ground, flat on your back as Ottardo pulls your legs out from under you, and as you hit the floor, I would say it knocks the wind out of you, but so you hit the back of your head, and you bite your tongue a little bit, and it just, all of a sudden it shakes loose the confusion, and you realize what happened, and you're no longer confused, but you feel a little sheepish and embarrassed,
Yeah.
I would think.
Yeah, I don't know if undead can blush, but Augrael, if if there is such thing as blushing, he's definitely blushing. He's like, he drops his rapier and he's like, I'm so sorry. That thing, the lights did mess with me. I didn't mean to.
All right. And before we move on, it's 120 XP for everyone.
Ooh.
Nice.
Mhm.
Getting up
You're not
there.
blushing, it's my blood. Nice.
Oh, and Matt, I don't like keeping like separate XP tallies for different characters, so you can just bump
That makes
yourself
sense.
up to the I think 710 if Ottardo's
Yep.
sheet is current. Yeah,
Okay.
710.
Okay, I will put that in there. Thank you.
I tried that in the past, and it just never really accomplishes anything. So just keeping everyone on the same XP
Yeah.
makes sense.
That makes sense to me.
All right, so the confusion is gone. So you still have very shaky knees being in this room. Lucca, you already spotted that down there, down that hallway, that seems to continue quite for some time, and to the west there's another door, and of course there's the altar in the center of the room.
We could probably take half an hour to lick our wounds.
Right here,
Ottardo looks at the others.
I don't love this room. Maybe we go back into that hallway.
Yes,
I agree.
this place is fouled by the presence of this Nimbleoth, or at least the memory of her, the thought of her, or him, or it. Don't know what to call it. But the others might be departing, but Lucca is unharmed, so he wants to try to investigate the altar a little more closely.
okay.
Augrael's curious, so he'll stick around.
Okay, so wondering why Lucca's lingering. You hang around. Lucca, you carefully look at the altar from a little far. You run your bony fingers along the length of it. You can sense this like presence in this room. Um, and again, there's this sensation of cold which you haven't felt in a long time. It's like a if you were uh, if you were a superstitious person, you'd say it's almost like the cold from beyond. It is really really unsettling. Like you know the void, you know that like there's this term of void energy. It's connected with undeath and all of that. But this is a different quality of the term void. This truly is not just death, but the opposite of existence that you're sensing. Um, and it scares you.
Yeah, it's definitely very unsettling for Lucca. Like, he's not really afraid of death. He knows he's been through it once, but whatever this is, this absence is something special. I imagine he's like trying in a way that he probably hasn't for many years to like recall, because the name meant something to him. He doesn't know why it meant something to him. But he's trying really hard to remember why that name means something, like from his life. He hasn't bothered trying to remember his life in a long time. He's kind of given up on that, but he's really trying to make some sense of why he knows that name.
Yeah, and you like search the crevices of your skull for an answer to that question, but nothing springs to mind.
Uh,
However, there's one thing you do notice that is maybe related to all of this, but it is a more tangible thing. So maybe at some point your focus shifts towards this because this is something you can actually make sense of and act upon because you sense energy accumulating in the altar as if something is building up in there, and you see these indentations where these flickery wispy things came out of, that there's still like the faintest spark of a glow in there. And if you really focus on it and you're paying really close attention, you can see that it's ever so slightly growing in intensity, as if something is reforming in one of those indentations.
yeah, as Luca realizes this, he'll quickly kind of move over to his companions and he'll say, "You ought to know, I do believe there's still considerable amount of energy in that altar, and it seems to be growing. I am suspicious that it will soon be able to
perhaps release more entities from itself. We should be very cautious about this chamber.
So
Wait. Yeah,
as you've left as you left the chamber and you catch your breath in that strange hallway, as weird as it may be, at least you finally don't have to see these, this imagery anymore, and don't have to sense this presence in the room anymore. So after a few minutes or so, you're no longer frightened.
oh, that happens. Someone gathers her bearings again. Well, looks very warily excited as well. Maybe we should then do it quickly. If those things come out again, then maybe we should try and run through this room before anything comes out.
A respectable notion, and Sir Ottardo, it seems that your speculation about another passage down was correct. I did spy along a hall and what looked like a area that might be able to lead us down.
Well, let's go, but quickly then.
Yes. Have you quite recovered? Or is it more imperative to get away from this place?
I think you can see that both Ottardo and Souma are carrying some injuries.
Then allow me to swiftly use the wand of heal, that is, to grant you some of your life force before we go running off.
Wait a second. So, Augrael, maybe you should hide behind the corner if there will be a blast.
Please step 30 feet away from me, Augrael. I can exclude myself from this aura, but not you, I'm afraid.
Yeah, Augrael go. If there's a corner here, he'll go around. Is there some over there? Did I inadvertently run into something? He'll go up the hallway, and if he can, he'll like tuck around the corner to get away from the aura.
And I will do the emanation, excluding myself, of course. And grant the two of them 4 hit points each. Wow. And now I can put that cursed wand away and pull out the much more useful wand of harm.
Well, let's try to make it through quickly.
Does Augrael see anything down this, or is there like a dead end right here?
You don't seem to have dark vision, if I'm not mistaken.
That might be right.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'll give you a little bit because there is this
No, it's okay. I was
blue
just wondering.
glow.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, there's this blue glow that sometimes runs along the walls, so you can't really see any details or anything, but you do see that the stairs continue to climb up as you go
Okay.
in that direction. All right, where are you headed?
Souma will basically close her eyes and
Okay. So you follow Ottardo and basically try to run as quickly as you can through the room. All right, Ottardo, move a little further. And then we'll stop here. And what happens is the following. So there's a long hallway that stretches out in front of you. The ceiling of this is about 25 feet above you. The niches that you see here, these little alcoves, they all hold sarcophagi. And on the stone lids of those sarcophagi that are standing upright, you see tormented, emaciated figures standing on those. Like they're carved into the lids. So they're just depictions of those figures, I should say. There's this large section of the wall, Ottardo, that you're just standing in front of here, that has just crumbled away into. Hold on, is that right? What I'm saying here? Yeah, into yeah. As you can peek around the corner, it has crumbled away into a series of ledges that lead down. There's there's the blue light of the alcove to the north, but there's also a light to the south. If you maybe you can scroll down and already see it because
Yep.
it's a lot brighter than the light of the altar, but it is also quite eerie. It is constant, whereas the light to the north, I mean, now it's also much subdued now that you've dispatched of all these flickery things. But this light down there has a different quality to it. It is eerie, also blue, but it seems to be something else. However, what is of much more pressing concern is that as Ottardo kind of rushes down the hallway, Soma following closely behind him, Augrael and Lucca trailing a little bit, two of these sarcophagus, like the lids, move to open and reveal two creatures that are humanoid, almost look like zombies, but their faces are just these howling masks of anger and rage. And they're clearly something more than just a regular zombie. As they step out, you have their swords in hand, ready to defend this part of the complex. So let me see if I
Oh
can
boy.
get these into onto the scene. So we'll add them to the encounter tracker. Then I'll add all of you, and then we can roll initiative.
I should have saved that wand.
Okay, and I'm gonna say Ottardo, and I guess everyone was kind of hustling through here, so I'll let you, if you want to, I'll let you roll athletics for initiative.
Oh, no
Ooh.
thank you.
Not particularly better. In fact, it's not better.
All right. Okay, so let's start this encounter, and yeah. So one of these things, like I said, they push open their lids, the grinding of stone on stone, and then it steps out, second action, and then it attacks Ottardo, and it does so by swinging its sword at him. Whoosh! It strikes you successfully. So let's see what happens. It's trying to do 13 points of damage.
Yep.
And because it's damaged you with its melee strike, first of all, it's not just the pain of the attack, it does also seem to relish your pain in some way. And then I need you, Ottardo, to make a fortitude save, which you fail. And it's not just the pain from the physical wound, it just feels like your very life essence is drained from you as this thing. And you can almost see it in the air. There's this like flow of vital energy towards the creature, and it's at your expense. So that was this creature's turn, and now let's see, where's my initiative? There it is. Soma, your turn. This thing struck Ottardo in the back.
Well, I wasn't prepared for that, so I'm gonna cast food on herself. Ash. And I guess she casts Telekinetic Project, that thing. Because I
All
can't.
right.
I can't draw my weapon, step forward, and strike it.
Okay, so you hurl some of that rubble at it, striking it. Yep. Oh wow, okay. And you just like knock it straight against the temple. Its head like spins around. You hear a cracking sound of its undead neck, but it just kind of like turns it back around. Still taking the damage, of course. And then it's Lucca's turn.
Yeah. Luca can kind of make him out, but he wants to get a little closer, so he's gonna come striding up right next to Souma. He sees these things, not your average zombie, so he's gonna try to recall knowledge.
All right. Still religion.
Religion. Well, that's a bit better for him.
Okay. You know these things. They are commonly encountered in tombs, and you should have almost expected them expected to find them here, where there's sarcophagi and all of this void, strange energy around. They are cairn whites. No idea if I'm pronouncing either of those words correctly. This is how it's
Yeah,
spelled.
you got it, Karen White.
Yeah, I think it's good. Yeah.
Right, so they are known as guardians of tombs. They usually are spawned with necromantic rituals specifically for this purpose, or sometimes they animate through the necrotic energies in a particular barrel. Um, and often they are formed from uh, they are formed by tempting those who cannot abide the thought of being separated from their earthly possessions. So they are kind of almost volunteering to become current whites, to forever guard their treasures. So they're motivated by greed a lot of the times. And is there anything I can tell you about their most well-known power? Is, I guess, that they're essentially necromantic energy given physical flesh, and they have the ability to draw life force from their enemies through damaging them and then feasting on that energy. And you get one question.
Okay, and I do have a +2 on top of that check. I don't know
That's
if that turns it into a critical success or matters, but
no, that's
um,
regular.
okay. Let's go with, well, we know it can absorb energy. Any particular weaknesses?
Weaknesses. No, not really. No, maybe just like all undead,
Right.
vital energy.
Okay. Last action. I'm just gonna yell out at Ottardo and say, well, don't just stand there, man! Kill the thing! And, I shall join you in the fray, but from back here. He's gonna cast Diabolic Edict on Ottardo.
Okay. Okay, then here another sarcophagus opens up, And another Kern White steps out. And to your surprise, does not immediately charge Ottardo, but it just like slowly moves its head around, this like red fire in its eyes, and it opens its mouth. And again, to your surprise, it doesn't scream or anything like that. It actually starts to chant a low and haunting melody. And I need everyone who can hear that, which is everyone, to do a will save.
Wait a sec. Counter performance.
You. Yep. So that's your reaction. Within 60 feet, rolls of type your performance protects you and your allies. Roll a performance check for a type you know. After performance of the trigger was auditory, while visual one for visual. You and allies in the area can use.
Whoa, cool.
Nice.
And yeah, just like the last time someone used this this ability, you would actually have to sing with it.
Oh.
Never
And
mind.
why do you have to sing? I mean,
She tries to take a note. Overpower it with pure vocals.
okay. All right, so everyone can choose to crit fail.
Yes.
I think I'll stick with mine, thank you.
So yeah, so maybe
it
Soma-
helps Augrael. He like he tunes it out because Augrael's or Soma's maybe singing a little off key, and he's like, "Oh, I don't have to listen to that anymore." Good.
I was gonna say that Soma might even kind of accidentally harmonize with this haunting melody and
Okay, okay.
kind of make it even more enchanting in some ways. All right, so Soma's actual save though is a success. Argyle success. Lucca is a fail, and did I see Ottardo is also a fail? Okay, so what happens is those of you who succeeded just get frightened 1. So that's Soma, Augrael. And those of you who failed get frightened 2. Here we go. We see. All right, so that's good. That was its turn. Augrael.
Okay. Augrael is going to, despite being frightened, he's going to 20. Moving through ally space in Pathfinder, is it? How does that work?
Just regular terrain.
Okay, no, okay. So I have how much movement do I have? I have 30, right? So I took mobile. Yeah, I have 30. So I can actually get into flanking with Ottardo, and he is going to strike out with his rapier. Let me target this thing so it's
Nice. That's a hit.
nice.
Oh, and that's some good
Okay,
damage.
not bad. And he'll swing again. He's still a little embarrassed and sheepish from turning on his friends. He misses, but he doesn't have an interest in protecting himself at the moment.
So I'm going to say that with the first successful attack, you kind of like embed your rapier in the back of the creature, and it just comes out the front end, and then you try to pull it back out, and that's misses. Then it got lodged so
Okay.
tightly that it takes you the whole action to get it out. Ottardo.
This does not look good. Ottardo will raise his shield. He is going to take one swing at the white that's being flanked. And that
Don't
includes
forget your
the...
+1.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at.
All right, that looks good. 6 points of damage.
And then he is going to move and say, we should probably retreat.
What? We can take these.
Okay, so that was your action or your turn. And then we have the white that first stepped out of one of the sarcophagi. It like turns around like after Augrael like pulled the rapier out of it. It turns around to face him, and then let's see what it does. Yeah, it brings down its or it swings its longsword around with it, trying to strike Augrael with it. 21 hits and does 13 points of damage.
Ottardo is
Okay.
going to react,
All right, react.
which will grant resistance 6 to Augrael against this attack,
Amazing.
and he will take the
So take.
opportunity to swing. The diabolic edict happens only on one check, right?
It is the duration is 1 round. It's all checks that are related to that task.
Uh,
Oh, do I take one more? Yeah, take one more.
so does it round? Round, not turn. So
Yeah, until Lucca's next turn, basically.
okay, so look, okay. Well, that's included then, and he misses.
Okay. So yeah, so that was not the full damage, but then some for Augrael, and it can't drain life from you because,
Isn't any.
well, as we say in
I ain't
German, you
got
can't.
none.
Yeah, yeah, we can't reach in the pocket of a naked man. Is what we say in German. So
That's good. I like that.
so that's what's happening here, and then so it comes around, it swings its longsword around, and then it just kind of follows up with a head, a top-down claw swipe at you, missing, and it has a third action, I realize, so it's gonna try the longsword once again, but missing. Wow. Okay. Augrael really nimbly avoiding that flurry of attacks, so most of it, Soma.
Well, we not making Ottardo not die. So first we cast Soothe on him. What?
Nice.
And then I think we just take his advice and run away.
Right. So then it's Lucca's turn.
Um. Yeah, I mean, I feel like we can take these, but if Ottardo wants to back off, then, and he does have frightened on, so he'll maybe heed his companions here. But not before attempting to take a pot shot at the injured one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's go.
In leaving, basically, you half-heartedly try to attack it, but miss. Okay, and then we have the white down here, which seizes its chanting dirge, and then swings its longsword at Ottardo once, missing, twice, missing again, 3 times, hitting with its last one, potentially doing 9 points of damage.
Yep.
Okay, and then it drains life once again. So first it heals for a little bit. Oh, it's actually already unharmed. And then I will need a fortitude save from Ottardo. Ooh, good job. Okay, so you resist that attempt to drain your life force even further. Augrael.
All right. Augrael sees his companions leaving. He is also going to take a parting shot. However, at this one, the one that's injured.
That's a hit. Sneakily stab it for 6 points of damage.
All right, and then he will stride and he'll stay between them, his two other companions, and the Cairn Whites. And he will actually. I do have a third action. He has a little bit of magic in him, just a minor magic, you might say, and he's going to cast Shield with his last action. Oh no, it's 2 actions, isn't it? Never mind.
Yes, well,
Shield is 1 action. Shield is one of the few
Okay,
spells
okay.
that's a single action.
All right, I will do that.
Okay, Ottardo.
Ottardo is going to raise his shield, then take how far can he move? 25. And who acts after him? One of them. Okay. Well, he is going to take one swing at the white that's already injured. Miss, and
Okay.
that's his cue to step back.
Okay. And that white that you took your swipe at, like steps forward 1, 2, 3, 4, follows you into this room, and as it moves forward, it just does so with like very measured paces. You can hear the clicking sound of the claws on its feet on the stone tiles, and then this like sort of smacking sound as the rotting flesh of its heel meets the floor, and it like scrapes its long sword over the tiles as it moves over there, just to be even more menacing, and it exhales this red mist like stuff that is swirling in its head, and then with its last step it suddenly accelerates and tries to strike you with its longsword. Swing and hit, and 14 points of damage.
Ottardo will attempt to block it.
You're breaking up there, but I think that meant that you're not going down. Oh, yep, okay, you brought your shield up. Got it. Okay, so you're still damaged for some, so you still need to do a fortitude save. Oh, am I? Was I breaking up, maybe?
what?
No, I can hear you clearly.
Okay, good. And you fail that fortitude save, so you become drained 2.
Oof.
And it'll have one final action, which is an offhand claw attack, hitting you
Ooh.
for another 10 points of damage
Ah.
and another fortitude save.
Oh, I didn't realize he was being drained.
Yep.
That's bad. That is bad.
Okay, but you do manage to avoid any further drain. Souma.
Well, I mean, don't die again.
Right, but since the fight has spilled into this room here, and you're doing more than just running through it, I'm gonna make you do a will save again, and you crit fail once again.
Oh God.
Oh no! Oh no!
Meaning
Well-
you are frightened too. Once again, this place is really doing a number on you.
Thankfully, that has no bearing on the healing, so
Nice.
that was 2 actions. Yes, for like Soma will have to use one of her backup. To basically retrieve.
Okay. Lucca, you're not living, so you don't need to save because of being in this room. But you're still frightened from before. You said you're
Yeah. Uh, Luca is going to delay his turn. But But he's gonna say, Augrael, I advise you get very far away from me.
Okay, and from in the distance, like just at the edge of your light spells, the other Kern white peels itself from the shadows, stepping forward just as menacingly as the first one, and attacks Ottardo as well, striking you with a
no.
long sword, but missing, following up with a claw, and hitting for 8 points of damage. Still up, okay, and a fortitude save. All right, and
Nice.
you really you've obviously decided that this is not your last battle, and you resist their drain once more. Augrael.
All right. Augrael is going to take one parting shot before heeding the advice of his companion.
Oh,
He's like, all right, you're going to use some of that bad magic. I'll get out of here. Oops, 5. Sorry, I meant to do 5, 10, 15. He'll just slide into the hallway around the corner.
the bad magic.
And that will be his turn.
Okay, Ottardo.
Ottardo is going to take one move here, one stride, and he will ready to close the door as soon as Soma and Lucca are past it.
Okay. This white.
I'm guessing maybe Lucca wants to jump in here.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out if emanations go around corners or not.
I can never remember.
It's the difference between a burst and an emanation. I can never remember.
I'm pretty sure that an emanation goes around it and a burst doesn't.
Okay.
It's
Well,
too late.
that's bad.
Augur will be like, just use the bad magic as he's running down the hallway.
It is a. Where does it say what it is? Is it a burst or an emanation?
The 3-action heal?
30-foot emanation. It is an emanation. Okay, that's bad. So I can exclude myself, but I can't exclude Augrael. Alright.
It's okay. Just
3
do it.
actions. I'm going to use my special ability to unleash a wave of horrible vital magic. Is that what they're calling it now?
Vitality?
Vitality, yep.
I guess I'll click the 3-action version. Roll damage healing. It's a fortitude save for them. The allies gain, or the living allies gain 10 points of healing. Augrael has to also save or take 10 points of damage.
That's okay. It's okay. I will fortune it.
It's not a bad roll. Oh god, Augrael. No.
It's okay. That's okay. Although, does it go? Now I'm reading line of effect.
Yeah, I think it doesn't go around corners.
Yeah, reading.
Okay.
I mean, I'm happy to go with whatever, but it does seem like because they're talking about a fireball in line of effect, and it says if there's a wall that's at least
Yeah, but
a
fireball
solid
is a
barrier.
burst.
Oh, okay.
I'm still not sure, but we'll figure that out next
Yeah.
between sessions. Okay.
Perfect.
It's not game breaking right now. Okay. So sorry, I was looking that up. So that means these two get a save, is that right? Or did you just heal?
Yeah, they both have saves.
They do need to save. Okay, and that's will saves?
Fortitude.
Oh, there they are. Okay, I didn't see the prompt. Sorry.
Yeah, it's on
Here
the
we
it's on
go.
it's the
Paste
prompt
before
for
you
you.
turn. Okay, one failed, and the other one
Oh,
critically succeeds.
so
So
one of
it's
them
one.
takes no damage, the other takes 10 points.
Yeah, so the vitality energy washes over it, and one of it gets badly burned by it. Just you see it like bend its back in pain as the other one kind of hunches down behind it and gets spared. Was that the 3-action version? Yeah.
That's 3 actions, yeah.
Hey, so then it's the turn of the one that just got so badly threatened by that vital energy, and despite, I would say, its first impulse of attacking the living creature, given its life sensibility, which it doesn't actually have, I realize. So, yeah, it's just going to attack the closest enemy then, which is Lucca, striking at you with its longsword, critically hitting.
That's incredibly painful. I will use my
Oh.
reaction. I use my reaction.
Oh,
So what happens? Tell us again.
He just, as soon as the sword hits him, he just falls in a pile on the ground. His bones get
that's
his bones
amazing.
get scattered.
Oh, that's so much. So yeah, so the white things he just like has just successfully smashed Lucca as he just collapses into a pile of bones. Which means you take the regular damage and are a pile of bones now, but that also means that the white is going to switch targets to Soma, thinking that it succeeded, and hitting Soma for 10 points of damage, and I will need a fortitude save from her. I'll prompt you in a second here. There we go. Okay, so you become drained, and it recovers 5 hit points as it feasts on your vital essence. And then it's your turn, Soma.
Just cast Trillian's projectile on him, and
Okay.
Nothing is.
There's a hit. So,
Nice.
is it a couple of pieces of Lucca that you hurl
Maybe.
at it?
I need those. He says
Alright.
from his skull, which is lying like 6 feet away. The jaw is actually completely disconnected, but the voice still comes out of his skull.
So they're like moving independently as if he's talking, but in two different spaces. Alright, so that was Soma's turn. Then we have the other white who going to just leave Lucca behind since he's just a pile of bones and is going to attack Ottardo. Swinging his sword. Oh, crit missing, and then following up with another uppercut, also regular missing. Augrael.
I think Augrael's gonna delay here. Yeah, he's gonna delay till I mean, because I can't really go back and swing right without because there's too many people in the way.
You can't squeeze past the white the way that it's standing right now. You would have to try to tumble through its square.
Yeah, I think he thinks he's just gonna delay for right now. Yeah.
Right. Ottardo, this is not going according to plan.
So can't Luca like go diagonally? No?
No, you can't squeeze through the corner here.
Okay. Well, indeed, this is bad. Let me see. Well, I guess he can give it a try. He will attempt to shove the white
Okay.
out of the way.
Okay. Tell us again how shove works.
So it is a athletics check against fortitude DC,
Okay.
and on a success, you push them back 5 feet.
Got it. Okay.
Okay, athletics.
Oh,
That's not a success.
You still have-
Um, yeah. All right. He let's go with the hero point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright.
Is that a crit? That is a crit fail,
That
which
is a
means
crit
that
fail, so you
uh,
lose your balance, fall, and land prone.
yep.
oh my god.
Oh no!
So you try to push him, but it just sidesteps, and you land flat on your face.
Oh no!
I love hero points. They've been pretty consistently bad for the party.
Uh, well, he's
So
going to spend the action to stand back up.
okay.
Oof. Well, last action he's going to raise his shield.
Okay. Lucca.
Luca's like, no, you fool! Shut the door! I'll meet you around the other side!
Mhm.
As he's pulling himself back together, he stands up again.
Okay, one action.
And then he's just gonna book it. He is pretty fast. He's got 30 feet of movement, so he's just gonna go 60 feet.
Okay,
Is he
so
going back through the hallway?
Yeah.
Oh
He's
no!
he went far enough to see that there does look like a connection between the other rooms, so he's gonna try and use it.
Okay.
So I'm gonna say that rubble counts double, so you know basically you can make it all the way to here roughly, so it's not a huge difference.
Is this fine?
Yeah, that's good. All right, so you
Okay.
run fast as you can. All right, and the white that was just next to you right now, like you start running off and just kind of goes, and it starts moving to follow you. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and then one more. So it steps on here. So it has one action left to swing its sword at you. Critically hits.
God.
24 points of damage.
Oh my god! Brutal.
Um. Hmm. Hmm. Well, I can't use the collapse reaction again.
Oh wow.
It's a once per 10 minutes thing. Um.
Are you down?
Maybe.
Oh, nobody
Oh
knows.
no!
Soma's turn.
Well, I mean, Thomas gonna do what she gonna do. I mean, I said, Ottardo, please don't die. Yeah, that was 2 actions, and for last actions, she actually uses the flute and inspire defense.
Okay. The white in front of you, Ottardo, just swings its sword at you once, twice, 3 times, single-mindedly, with the tenacity of an undead guardian, missing every time. Augrael?
Yeah, he delayed and I didn't do much. I think.
Run!
You think? What would Augrael do in this situation? Yeah, I mean, that was the plan, was to run. So I think he's going to just stride He's gonna say, "I'm gonna go find Lucca," and he's gonna stride and with 3 actions. Let's see,
That's as far as you can get. It's dark in there, so sounds double.
Oh, that's right. All right. He'll get there and he'll be like, "Oh, come on, Lucca." But he doesn't know Lucca's not gonna. Oh no.
Ottardo.
Is going to close the door and then start moving. That's 25, and then 10, and then
Yeah,
that's his speed.
Slam the door into the Karen White's face, and then keep moving. Okay, that's your turn.
Yep.
Lucca is already where he needs to be in the initiative, so we're gonna do a recovery check.
Is that a public roll?
I don't know why it didn't get prompted here. Yeah, you can make it public. It's fine. It just adds to the drama, I think, is if everyone knows.
Oh, yeah, for some reason, I don't think I have the dying condition.
You do.
Oh no, I
but that-
do. I do.
Dying
I do.
too, yeah. Huh.
Okay.
I don't know why it didn't prompt you to do your check. Should.
Yeah.
16.
pass, right?
What is that?
That's a pass, isn't it?
Yeah, I think, yeah, it's 10 plus
Because it's
dying.
12, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
it's 10 plus the dying. Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm at
Okay.
dying 1. Doing great.
Aren't you just stable now, and you move? And next time you can.
No,
Was he
don't
at
I?
dying 2 before?
I wasn't dying 2 because the crit got me down.
Yep.
Oh, that's right.
Okay, but having destroyed you, at least in its own sense, and your soul, I guess it doesn't have life force, so life sense, so it wouldn't be able to tell anyway. It.
It's not like I'm bleeding.
See this anymore. So we move over here, and then
Breathing,
Soma,
for
your
that
turn.
matter.
Okay.
There's marrow leaking from your bones, maybe.
Mhm.
Soma.
Yeah, so it's time to use our gear, so she twists her bracelet and
Nice.
hooks it.
Oh, cool.
Dashes up the stairs, down the stairs. Yep. Keeps running.
Come on. Wait. Door?
Runs right past the door. Up to here? Okay. Alright. So behind you, Ottardo, Augrael, and I guess Soma can still hear that too. You hear like the slam of the door getting blasted, thrown open, and then you hear that clicking sound and that smacking sound, and then the scraping of the sword echoing through the hallway behind you, and we're moving all the way here. And as that white turns the corner, Ottardo, you look over your shoulder. Is this the last thing you're gonna see? We'll find out next time.
Hey, we're in a bit of a pickle.
Yes.
I would think
Yeah.
so. Yeah.
We're fine.
The big thing really was for Lucca to make it safe. I think his
Yeah,
recovery.
that was big.
That would have been really painful to go to.
I mean, I
dying
still
3.
have to. Yeah, I still have to make one more, but yeah. I've got a chance now at least.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
But you're stable now, aren't you?
No,
just
did
one,
I
'cause
reduce my dying
a crit.
condition?
Oh, okay. Okay, got it. I thought the dying rules are just a mess for me personally, but okay. I think that makes sense. So you move up, and only once you could shake the dying condition completely. So if you had crit saved your recovery, then you would have gone straight to stable. Okay, got it.
Is a crit success? It's only possible on a 20, right? For a
Yeah.
recovery check, or do you get a bonus? Yeah, okay, because there's no
It is-
bonus to it. Right?
Right. It is a flat d20. Yeah. So yeah.
Okay,
Unless there are some abilities that give you a bonus, Die Hard or something. Does that give you
Maybe.
a bonus?
No, I don't. I mean, Oh, actually, I don't know.
It,
No,
it,
I think it just
it's
makes
not
you
a bonus.
dying 5, right?
So
Right, yeah.
there's two things. There's one that lets you go up to dying 5. Then there's another one that lowers the DC for recovery to 9 or even down to 6. I think if you have 2 feet.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Thanks.
yeah.
I think
9 doesn't sound
toughness
like
low.
much at first, but it doubles your crit chance, so it's actually pretty helpful.
And
Yeah.
it gives you a 10% better chance, basically.
Yeah.